Welcome to episode 109 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And I don't know. I don't have a segue.
That's fine. We have some news this week. Not a lot. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with trailer news, or do you want to start with LA Hollywood news?
Cameron,
I got it.
You're ever just so tired?
Hey, you know what? You can take a little break. I got
you're just
this
on the edge of sanity.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll take lead on this one today,
okay.
Chris. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm just going to go curl up in the corner there. If you hear just the occasional half-hearted sob, it's someone else, I swear.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So we had two trailers that seemed very similar to each other. It was almost like
It's The Boys and
Umbrella Academy.
The Umbrella Academy. Have you read either one of those?
I've never heard of The Boys, but The Umbrella Academy is kind of one that's been in my peripheral for the past few years. Because I remember when it first came out was prime Cameron emo phase.
Wait, sorry, what now?
Yeah, you heard that right.
Can you elaborate?
No.
What does your emo phase look like?
That's a great question. It was.
Is there photographic evidence somewhere?
I think I hid most of them on Facebook. So it's. I'll say this. It's hard to have an emo phase when you go to a school with a uniform.
Was just a lot of guy liner?
No. It was never that. Never that.
I'm a little disappointed. I was really hoping for some photos of you in a Catholic school uniform and just so much guy liner.
No.
And like full on Pete Wentz.
No. See, it's one of those things where. Do you really have an emo phase if you cared that little about your appearance? Like, I didn't look the part to the point where I didn't know like how to comb my hair until I don't know, like freshman. No, say sophomore in high school.
This is also what I find so funny because weirdly enough, I consider you one of my actually most fashionable friends. I mean, I'm frankly not right now. You're wearing a 10-year-old Comic-Con t-shirt.
Yeah, damn right I am. This is one of my favorite shirts.
What I love is the discrepancy of fucks you give between when I come over here to record and when I see you anywhere else.
Yes.
Because you're like, I'm going to give you credit. You dress well.
Thank you.
Like, you dress better than I do. I keep maintaining you would still make a much better gay man than I do.
I've been told that many times.
By me and other people.
I mean, I've been outed on another podcast.
This is true.
I've been told by many of my friends that they introduced me to their gay friends for a purpose. And to some, that would maybe dishearten them a little bit.
I keep trying to get you to cross over, but you just flat out refuse.
No, my mom wouldn't like that very much.
No, Cindy.
I mean, she'd be fine with it. She'd be fine with it. Because she also gave me not her, but my one of my family members who I'll keep silent, did come up to me being like, if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
So I'm still scrolling through your Facebook here. I'm trying to find.
I think I blocked most of them.
Emo Cameron phase. I have found a whole bunch of photos of you wearing a newsboy cap.
Oh yeah, that was when I did musical.
From what?
I did musical.
Oh, that's right. Sometimes I forget you were in musical theater.
Steel Pier.
You were a musical kid.
I was a musical kid.
Okay, wait. So you were familiar with the Umbrella Academy from your emo days, which is something we're still going to talk about at some point.
Well, yeah, that'll be an off-air conversation.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, I'm sure everyone knows because it's kind of big news. The lead vocalist from My Chemical Romance is the one who wrote, and I think partially illustrated the series.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Gerard Way is his name. I came across him through the amazing song, his own song, A Hazy Shade of Winter, that's in that Umbrella Academy trailer. I've been listening to it all weekend. Mm-hmm. I had no idea he was My Chemical Romance. I had no idea he wrote the damn thing.
Yeah.
So many layers of awesome.
I know. It's weird because like it's kind of like in the Jared Leto world of like you see these singers and they're very good at their craft, and so you don't think they're good at anything else.
Yeah,
but then you're like,
you're so fucking talented.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, fuck, Jared Leto is in Fight Club?
Jared
No,
Leto.
that's not. No,
Singer.
The guy who's in Fight Club can't be the lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars.
He's a singer. He's an actor known for his star-winning turn in Suicide Squad.
That's right.
Known for his really inappropriate offset antics.
Mm-hmm. Because then there's another...
known for his to-be role as Morbius in the film Morbius.
That's right.
That no one asked for. Like, if no one asked for Venom, nobody asked for Morbius.
What is
Morbius, the Living Vampire, is a Spider-Man villain that they're doing a spin-off movie about. Once again, I'm sure sans Spider-Man, because Sony somehow made a box office success out of Venom, and so they are going to double down on never learning their lesson.
Yes. I thought we were talking about there's a French, very famous French comic artist named Mobius, who I thought that's who you were talking about.
Oh, right. Yes, I see his. Oh, right. The World of Adina. We've talked about this before.
We have.
Did you see? Wait, what is he? He has nothing to do with the Mobius strip, does he?
No.
It's like isn't that like a mobile sort of thing?
No, the Mobius strip is a single plane, is a property with a single face.
It's like Escher-esque.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you draw a line from one point and you just continue drawing a straight line, it will cover both sides but still connect at the same spot.
If I made a Mobius strip now by turning one corner of this rubber band?
No, because it can't be like a vertical twist like that. You have to. Usually it's a sheet of paper.
Separate it.
Yes, it's a sheet of paper. You twist one end and then connect them back together.
All right, I refuse to cut this rubber band.
That's all right.
Okay. I wear a rubber band every day and I don't know why.
Because you've never left your 2000s face.
Harsh but true.
Yeah.
So very,
Early
very
2000s.
true. Occasionally, it comes in handy. Like every once in a while, I'll go to.
You have to shoot someone.
I'll have to just shoot someone in the eye with a rubber band. But other times, I will have cut a lemon in half to make myself a nice oregano oil shooter to fight off bacteria.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but very, very effective. Actually reminds me they do one today. And then I have all of a sudden this other half of a lemon. And like, what do I do with it? Oh, I know. I grab a paper towel, I wet it. And then I put the lemon inside the wet paper towel. And then like, oh my God, guess what? I have a rubber band on my wrist. I'm at work. I wouldn't have one otherwise. Let's just tie this off here, throw it in the fridge, good to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Also, it's the year 2002.
Yes. So Umbrella Academy, there's another band that also had a comic series, Coheed and Cambria. Do you know them?
Yeah, which I know. I'm trying to remember. Didn't they do the dun 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 song with like the woman in the green, very, very short marching band uniform playing the saxophone? Wasn't that Coheed and Cambria?
I don't think so.
Is that somebody else? Who's that?
Are you thinking of like an electric sound? Because this is like an alternative rock band.
I'm probably not thinking of the same people then.
Because all their music videos were their comic panels brought to life, which I think is fucking awesome.
Why do I know them then?
They had mild success in the late 2000s.
What's their most popular song?
They have a few. I would say Welcome Home is a big one of theirs. There's one other. I think they were on like either Rock Band or Guitar Hero.
I must know them from somewhere. I feel like they were in my playlist at some point.
The Suffering is their most famous song.
The Suffering.
Yeah, so all their music videos are based off of the lead singer of Coheed and Cambria also had his own comic series called The Armory Wars, and I got to meet this man at Comic-Con one year. This was like when I was peak fan of Coheed and Cambria.
Also in the early 2000s.
Yes, also early 2000s.
I forgot to start the timer. God damn it.
That's fine. And for some reason he was at his booth and just no one was there because no one cares about comics anymore at Comic-Con.
Well, also people probably just didn't know who that was.
That's true. Well, he has a very distinct look.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily know what musicians look like.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he's in like the 1,000 and below section, so not many people are over there anyway.
Oh yeah, they're not expecting anyone like noteworthy to be over in that section.
Yeah, because I also met the guy who wrote Aragon, that trilogy.
Oh, what's his bucket?
Lord of the Rings, Light.
Yes.
Yeah, I met him. It was my roommate's first
Christopher Paolini.
Yes. Yeah, I met him 2 years in a row. Yeah. That was another one. He was just at one of the book booths. My roommate recognized him, and they had like a 20-minute conversation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but Coheed and Cambria also has the Armory Wars. Sorry, Umbrella Academy is what we're talking about. I've never actually read it. It's always kind of been in my peripheral. I'm very excited for the show. It kind of looks like... It
looked really good.
Yeah. It looked like, what I wanted... what was that movie from 2010 where it was the girls... I think it was a Zack Snyder movie.
Sucker Punch?
Yeah. It's like what I wanted Sucker Punch to be.
There's some interesting stuff going on in Sucker Punch, but the problem is it was made by Zack Snyder.
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks great. Like the man can make any movie that will have an awesome trailer. Just don't see the movie.
He is. Yeah.
He's the trailer king.
Exactly. He can get you hyped for anything.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. He can't.
That's true. But yeah, it looks like what I wanted Sucker Punch to be, but it's also kind of what I want the Watchmen series to be like. Like it kind of has that tone of like
okay, the new
dark,
one, the new series,
the upcoming one, the HBO series.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one because it's set like after Watchmen.
Yeah,
and I think Jason Isaacs is playing an older Ozymandias, which is kind of cool.
Okay,
I don't know, but yeah, I have to admit the Umbrella Academy. It's a fun trailer. I think Ellen Page is kind of the only kind of name.
Yeah, I think
name
so.
recognition, recognizable name.
Yes,
there we go. That one in there. I didn't really know anybody else, but it looked fun because I was more excited about that than I was for The Boys, which has a more well-known cast. I think the plot of The Boys, it's like they are a group of heroes that were trained to kill superheroes, and then I think they're unleashed to go do so. I mean, Carl Urban's in it. I do love me some Carl Urban.
Yeah.
And I know one of the characters was based on Simon Pegg, but was Simon Pegg in the trailer? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Who knows? I don't know. They both look kind of fun, though. I mean, I'm more likely to watch The Umbrella Academy than I am.
It's another one of those where it's like unintentional parallels.
Yeah.
Or it's what is it called? Not horizontal thinking, but something similar to that.
Parallel thinking?
Is it parallel thinking?
I think it's parallel thinking.
Okay.
It's kind of like how Deep Impact and Armageddon came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Or White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Or...
I'm waiting for you to name the right one so I can call you out on it.
I was going to say Air Bud, but there was no movies like Air Bud.
Air Bud and Air Bud 2.
Air Bud and Air Spud.
MVP, Most Valuable Chimp.
Oh, okay, there we go. See, it all comes together.
But no, that was a ripoff, not a parallel thinking.
Wait, Most Valuable Chimp was a ripoff of Air Bud?
Yes.
I feel like there were other ones, right? There?
Do you not know the story of the great Most Valuable Chimp?
The
1999 classic?
I can't say that I do, but I'm about to, I think.
It's a chimp that plays hockey. Which seems a lot more like plausible than a dog playing basketball, right?
I don't know. I mean, does a monkey have
the motor skills to to ice skate?
Does
I also
he have,
ask myself that,
like
when I'm
the
trying
muscle
to sleep.
definition to try and like push himself across an ice rink at speed, or to actually hit a puck with any sort of real power behind it?
That's a good question.
I don't think they do. Like, the thing is, a dog, I could totally see a dog bouncing a ball off his nose. Like, Air Bud.
Well, dogs do that.
Absurd that it is, as like, at least grounded in some sort of physicality.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it makes more sense than goddamn Air Bud 2 Golden Receiver.
Yeah. Hey, dogs catch things in their mouth.
Yeah, I know they catch things in their mouth, but like, he can't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't he kick the ball at 1.2? I don't remember. I feel like I've seen the movie once.
No,
was it even the same kid?
I think it was a different kid, same dog. But no, he went through
I doubt it was the same dog. I bet that dog was dead.
No. They came out pretty close together. No, I want to say so that there was Air. Oh god, that's about the series. There it is. So there was.
Oh my god,
there's a lot of these.
Keeps going.
Yes, there's 14 of these movies.
Jesus Christ.
So Air Bud, where he plays basketball. Golden Receiver, where he plays football. World Pup, where he plays soccer. Seventh Inning Fetch, where he plays baseball. Spike's Back, where he plays volleyball, and then it goes to the kids, Air Buddies.
I mean, the volleyball thing is just a rehash of basketball at that point. It's the same maneuver.
Yes.
And then by the time we get to Buddies, wasn't it?
Oh no, hold on, because they go into space.
Oh, that's right.
So Air Buddies.
I cannot wait for when Fast and the Furious finally makes it into space. It's like Fast and the Furious is going to make it into space. Mission Impossible is going to go to space.
Oh yeah, they're going to meet there too.
And in the background, you're just going to see like a capsule full of golden retriever puppies. Mm-hmm. Because no matter what, Air Bud did it first.
Oh my god, hold on. Super
Air
Buddies.
Bud is the Simpsons of never-ending franchises.
2013 was the last one. So sad that it's been a while. Super Buddies, after acquiring rings that grant them superpowers.
Where do they put the rings? How do they wear the rings?
Must use them to
on their
stop
paws?
a villain. Yeah.
Shouldn't they be like magical collars, not rings?
Hold on, listen to these. Treasure Buddies, 2012. Buddies find themselves in Indiana Jones-style adventure.
God damn it.
Spooky Buddies, where it's Halloween. Santa Buddies, where I feel like, the buddies team up with Santa Paws to end the melting of a magical icicle threatening Christmas Eve.
Okay, so there have been 14 Air Buddy movies.
Yes.
Cumulatively, how many golden retrievers think they've gone through?
Let's see. They have it here. So.
Oh my God.
So Air Bud 2, 3, and 4. It's the same golden retriever.
I told you it wasn't the same golden retriever from 1 to 2.
You're right. They couldn't afford him after the
Yeah,
first
that's true. He was living large.
Yeah. And then. Oh yeah, I guess that was it. Yeah.
Fuck, is this you?
What?
I'm still looking at your old Facebook photos.
That is me and Pick Boy.
Who's Pick Boy?
You don't know Pick Boy?
Jesus, what's Pick Boy?
On Nickelodeon back in the day.
Well, this explains why I don't know it.
Yeah. There was so I think he started on Slime Time Live, where Pick Boy was just kind of like the crazy side host.
Was he known for picking things?
Yeah.
Like he would pick what was coming up next in the
superpower
rotation?
was being able to pick everything perfectly.
Does that include like his nose?
I don't know.
Did they do a bit about that?
Well, there was the giant nose. It was always part of the Nick Gas games.
Wait, like the one you from like Double Dare or whatever?
Yeah.
We had to go and pull the
Pull the flag out of the nose, yeah.
That's right. I was about to say the pizza slice, but that's a different thing.
I mean, it was an orange flag.
Okay.
We're really padding this episode because these 2 episodes are nonsense.
Oh, none of this is intentional.
Yeah.
None of this is planned at all. Oh, the giant nose.
Yeah. That I also got to pick because it was at Comic-Con 3 years ago.
Oh my God, that's right. You're like Pick Boy Light.
I mean, it was my dream to be Pick Boy. There was a point where they were hiring because I talked to people at the Nick booth. I always try and befriend the Nick booth people first when I go to Comic-Con because they're the best people to meet.
Because you're clever.
Yes. I mean, they're the ones that gave me these beautiful 2 posters on my wall here.
No, I was looking at these posters the other day.
Yes, it's the Avatar The Last Airbender cast and Korra cast.
Now, the old guy with the goatee on the right of Korra, is that the Airbender from the first series? Is that an older version of him?
What's his name, Chris?
Aang?
Yes, and no, it's not. It's
Oh.
Tenzin.
What?
Tenzin is the son of Aang.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say 'cause he looks just like him, and he's even got the thingy on his head.
Yes, the arrow, the mark of the Airbender.
Sure, whatever it's called.
Yes,
Oh, okay. And he's
it's
wearing, like the same
monks get
color palette.
tattoos. Yes, because he follows the life of the traditional Airbender. That's a whole plot. That's the whole subplot of season 3, where
No, we're good. Nope, we're good. This is not the Airbender podcast.
Yes.
This is the Do You Remember This Thing from the 1990s Nickelodeon Run podcast.
It's not even 90s. Avatar started in 2003, Chris.
I give up.
Korra started in 2011.
Give up.
Yeah.
I'm done.
10, 11, 11.
I'm going to let you take this from here.
That's fine. So Pick Boy, they were, I talked to people at the Nick booth, and they were thinking about reviving Pick Boy and having someone new play him. And I'm like, will you please consider me?
Did you audition?
I did not, because they did not end up bringing back Pick Boy.
Oh, hey, you met Adam, what's his name, from Workaholics. Adam Devine.
Yeah, I met all 3 of them.
And Tara Strong, do you realize the vast majority of your photos on Facebook are you at Comic-Con?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's not, not unintentional.
Okay, no, I'm just explaining your own life to you.
Yes.
So continue.
The Workaholics guys, me and my roommate went to their panel, and it was the Wizards panel. So if you don't know the story of Workaholics, before they were on Comedy Central, they had a YouTube series, or a YouTube channel, and kind of the side project of theirs was they were making a rap group where they were all wizards, and they were calling themselves the Wizards.
Love it.
And so they did a performance at Comic-Con. My roommate and I loved it. We're walking back to our hotel, and we see the 3 guys walking across the street, and we yell, like, "It's the Wizards, we love you guys." And they come up, they run over to us, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to this bar. We'll get you guys some shots." And I think we're 17. No, we're 18, because that was Ian's first Comic-Con. But we couldn't drink still. And so it was very hard for us to say that we could not go drink with the Workaholics guys.
And you've never recovered.
And I've never recovered. That's why I don't drink. It's because I'm just waiting to see them again for them to buy me my first shot. Because I've heard stories from them, or from people who have like been to bars with them, And at Comic-Con, basically they just bar hop and just buy everyone's drinks for the night.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Could have been you.
It could have been me if only I had a fake that year.
Oh God.
I know.
So
I missed. I used to like be with like in the like I used to happenstance be in the cool part of Comic-Con before I could drink because I got invited to go out with them. I got invited to the True Blood party one year.
What?
Yeah.
How?
One of the girls that was staying with us, who was a booth babe, which is not a derogatory term. That's what they call themselves.
They actually call themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
She got invited, and the guy said she could bring us, but I think that was when we were 19. We still couldn't go. And what was really heartbreaking was the hotel we were staying at was the Marriott right next to the party.
Yeah.
So it's at the base of our hotel. So we can see the party from our room. And like the girl with us, Sarah, went. And so we were texting her while she was at the party, just like being the eye in the sky of like, oh, there's someone at the end of the bar. Go talk to them.
I think this is maybe the most you thing you've ever described, which is you not going to the cool kids party, but watching it from a distance and texting someone to have them do it so you can live vicariously through them.
Yes, exactly.
Oh
we tried to go down. We tried to go down, and the bouncer, like, we knew the bouncer at that point because it's the only bouncer I've ever known. And he's like, I bring me any ID. It doesn't have to be you. Just bring me something that says someone here is over 21, and I'll let you in. But we didn't have that.
Also, hang on, Cameron.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm looking through your Facebook photos. I don't see a single photo of me in here anywhere.
Is there a problem?
You heartless bastard.
I haven't posted to Facebook in like 2 years.
Yeah, but we have been friends for almost 3.
Oh, yeah, I guess that doesn't line up, does it?
No. And also, there's a photo here from like a week ago.
Yeah, but I didn't post it.
All right,
let's get back on
I'm going to go back to my corner and keep crying now.
That's fine. Let's get
now
back on
I have a real reason.
So we had Oscar noms also come out this week.
Yes, with a historic nomination.
Yes, Dark Knight came back and got a nomination.
They finally nominated it 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
Black Panther nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, I think this is a good thing. It is the Academy acknowledging that mainstream movies that hit a cultural touchstone are worthy of recognition for those exact efforts.
Yes.
That being said, do you actually think this is one of the best movies released last year?
No.
No, I agree with you.
I think, if anything, I think Spider-Verse should have had the nomination.
I actually think it's a better film that also has the stigma going against it of being animated. But let's be honest, it's going to get the best animated feature.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you don't think Incredibles 2 is going to get it, right? Now,
no.
Also, I thought I would never be in a world where I would be rooting against the Incredibles 2 for Best Picture.
Same.
For Best Animated
I'm never
feature,
one to root against Disney.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Spider-Verse is just superior. Mm-hmm. Even though I think I ranked Incredibles 2 higher than Spider-Verse. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Does not matter. But yeah, look, this is, I guess, in essence, getting the nomination was the win for Black Panther because it's not going to win Best Picture.
Right.
But I mean, it's still big.
It's going to go to Vice, for sure.
Vice.
Because that's the movie for white people. It's like, remember all the shit we did and we got away with it? And then the good old days?
I mean, it's not. Of the movies nominated, it is not the movie for white people. I'm not going to say anymore. But look, I mean, I think this is a good thing. I think it feels kind of like a gimme a little bit. Kind of like, it's like they're throwing him a bone a little bit.
And it's weird because I feel like there's more outrage that it was nominated now.
From who?
Fans of Dark Knight.
Oh, gee, but hang on. Calm down, fucking Dark Knight fans. One, The Dark Knight is
what were the other nominations?
Not a good Batman movie. Gonna fucking stick to that claim. And 2, it's actually very flawed, but in and of itself, it is a very entertaining. Well,
you're also
crime thriller.
you also stand on that island of it's not as great as everyone says it is.
It's not. It's absolutely not. Plus, it's not a good Batman movie. I'm not gonna get into it. I've done that before.
Oh, Juno was nominated that year.
Okay,
that's interesting.
Look, it's because of The Dark Knight and WALL-E that we now have an expanded Best Picture category.
Yes.
Because those are 2 movies that everyone was saying should have been nominated for Best Picture and weren't. And so the concession was, okay, the Academy decided to open up to make it up to 10, which is still weird. It is still weird that it's up to 10. I'm not actually sure how they decide.
And how they still don't fill 10.
Well, yeah, I'm not even sure how they decide how to fill that. I don't know if a movie has to receive a certain threshold of nominations or votes to be considered nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, because Best Picture is the only weird one. Because aren't the other ones mainly voted on by...
Yeah, I've actually read a really interesting article about this.
By the people in there. So like...
so the way it works is that...
you explain it.
The guilds again, this is my understanding of how this works. Don't quote me, but the guilds, as it were, within the Academy vote for their respective categories. So costume designers vote for costume design. Yes. I think it's only the acting category, like actors who vote for acting, directors, so and so forth.
If I remember correctly, they vote for the nominees, not the winner.
Yes, they vote for the nominees, and then. But I think Best Picture is the one where everyone votes to nominate. And then when it comes to actual voting to win, everyone does it. But now the other weird thing too, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but we're going to keep going with it. The other weird thing too is that in all categories except for acting on the ballot, it doesn't list the person, it just lists the movie.
Right.
So the classic example is Roger Deakins, who is an amazing cinematographer, and to my understanding, has still not fucking won an Oscar. Unless he won last year. He may have won last year, I forget. But he was nominated for Best Cinematography for Skyfall, which I think is a deserved nomination because that movie is goddamn gorgeous. I'm looking at you, Jellyfight.
He did win last year.
Jellyfish. Oh, what did he win for? Deserved.
Yes.
Okay, so
he's been nominated. Holy shit.
He's been nominated so many times, taking forever to win. But so the ballot would just say Best Cinematography Skyfall.
14 nominations.
14 nominations, right? It's just Skyfall. So anyone who doesn't know there's Roger Deakins, and they might know him, be like, oh, Roger Deakins is incredible. He does such good work. They're just going to go, why the fuck would I be voting for James Bond to win Best Cinematography? So one way of looking at it is it, I guess, is supposed to curtail bias, but at the same time, it neglects to acknowledge the person, which matters a lot in these sort of things. So, fuck it, whatever.
Just to read off for a quick second, his nominations have been for Shawshank Redemption, Fargo, Kundun, I don't know that one, Our Brother, Where Art Thou, No Country for Old Men, The Assassination of Jesse James, The Reader, True Grit, Skyfall, Prisoners, Unbroken, Sicario, the final one for Blade Runner, 2049.
I mean, he is one of the best in the business, and much deserved.
Clearly. I mean, just look at the movies he's worked on.
He just kept losing out to Chivo. But Chivo is also incredible, so. You know, Emmanuel Lubezki, a.k.a. Chivo. I call him Chivo because we're buds.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're not buds.
Didn't he win?
I've never met him.
Isn't that the person that won like 3 years in a row?
He won 3 years in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, he won. It was Gravity, Birdman, and The Revenant. He won 3 years in a row.
That's right. I mean, Birdman was amazing.
Birdman's incredible. Yeah. It's the
third
Batman movie we never got.
Exactly.
Gravity.
Oh, I never saw Gravity.
You didn't?
No.
I don't know if it's worth watching now.
That's what I've heard. That's why I haven't watched it.
When I saw it in 3D IMAX. Oh, no, just 3D in theaters. And you know me, I hate 3D. I despise 3D. I refuse to see movies in 3D.
Yes.
That is one of the exceptions. That is one of the best experiences I had seeing a movie, was that movie in 3D in theaters. It's fucking breathtaking.
I have one more quick tangent to go on because a movie I saw this weekend.
It's the only other tangent we're going to have this episode.
Yes. One more temporary tangent. There's a thing that filmed, and I don't know if I'm just sitting too close to the theater and that's why I get a headache. I don't think it is. I think it's a problem from the filmmakers.
Okay.
But it's when it's a full CGI scene. It's a close-up scene. So I went to regrettably see The Kid Who Would Be King over the weekend.
You did that to yourself.
I did. And they had multiple shots of this style, which drive me nuts, where it's a fast camera move on a close-up, just like texture, and there's like a slight rotation while they're doing it, and it gives me the worst headache.
Is it like, for example, is it like a camera pointed at the ground and it's moving super fast and it's like CGI grass, or I don't?
Yeah,
understand.
so it's like the camera is going. So basically, the way they told the story is Morgana the Fae is basically trapped in the earth.
Okay.
And so the camera zooms through the ground, and it's like the zoom through the layers of the earth.
Oh, okay.
That like super close up of just texture and grit.
And well, probably because you know the texture is fake.
Well, it's not that it's fake. It's just it's moving too fast.
Okay.
For how big the screen is.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like your whole peripheral is just moving.
Ew.
And it like, because I want to say Ragnarok did it for a second.
Oh yeah, maybe
where it was like an overhead shot that was just rotating.
Oh, okay.
It was at the beginning of the movie. And I remember, like, the first time I saw the movie, it gave me a real, like, a piercing headache for a second.
Oh, interesting.
But this movie does it for, like, a full minute.
Oh, God, no. No.
And it just, like, I had to just close my eyes for parts of the movie because I couldn't look at the screen.
Also, it was just that bad.
It was also, yeah, I honestly, the movie ended at, like, an hour 40, and there was 30 more minutes of movie.
I feel like there was another movie that came out this... Oh, Lego Movie 2 came out this weekend. You didn't go see that?
There was a sneak peek last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just for Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And no, I locked myself in my apartment for the weekend.
Kind of jealous. That's just that try to fun weekend. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you went to Disney. Fuck you.
I did. I spent all weekend at Disney with my parents. It was super fun.
Yeah. We're not here to talk about that.
No.
We're here to talk about Batman.
Wait, I have one more
other news.
I have one more last piece of news, which we're actually not going to talk about. We're just going to acknowledge that it's a thing. But
Okay.
We now live in a world where Aquaman is the highest grossing DC film of all time.
That's right, it is.
So, right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good on you, Jason. Well, there was a Twitter post that I saw that I'm sure has gone viral at this point, but it's like it said someone looked at Jason Momoa and said, "I want you in a movie where you're wet 90% of the time," and that's what we got.
You know, I understand that being a Jason Momoa fan, especially when he's wearing less.
Yeah. But he usually he had a shirt on for most of that.
He had
movie,
a shirt on through a lot of it. Also,
which is kind of surprising for a lot of fans.
For whatever reason, didn't work for me this time.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, worked for me in Justice League. He's like walking out into the Arctic water, no shirt on, and he's just having a good old natter with Bruce Wayne. Totally does it for me. This movie didn't do it.
I think you're more attracted to Bruce Wayne.
I think that's the thing. That is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I've ever been attracted to any of the Bruce Waynes. Val Kilmer. Anywho.
All right.
So,
we got 2 episodes this week.
Two very interesting episodes. These are both terrible.
Yeah, I mean the second one I enjoyed just because it was just like a nerd reference galore.
Of course you did.
But I always love depictions of like the super nerd in media.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things to see. So it gives me something to like strive for.
Yeah, we're gonna go into these 2 episodes. Then I have a whole discussion I want to have at the end.
All right,
because there's a theme across 2 of them, but I think we need to talk about. But the first episode's called April Moon.
Yes.
Oh, that's real force. Apparently it's a real song from like 2000, and they refer to it as like that old song, April Moon. I don't even know what song that is.
Which is funny because in the next episode they have a very relevant Star Wars joke.
I know.
Which would have been 40 years old at that point.
They're very inconsistent with what they decide is going to be relevant and not relevant. But so in the first episode, Terry, as Batman, to clarify, comes across 4 bank robbers, literally, who all have mechanical appendages. They're all cyborgs. Yes. So one guy who goes by Bullwhip has kind of, you know who Omega Red is from the X-Men?
No.
He's part of like the Weapon X program, but he wears a red suit. He's got a white face, blonde ponytail. He's very 90s.
Yes,
and he's got
know
those,
exactly
those
who you're
white,
talking about.
White metal whips that he like shoots out of his hands.
Yep.
Bullwhip has that.
Yeah, just say X-Force. Yes, I totally know who this is.
Another guy has retractable saw blades built into his forearms and shins because he had all 4 of them replaced. Another guy has like an exosuit, Juggernaut-esque exosuit that comes around him. And then the last guy has, I don't know what he would have had replaced, or maybe they just augmented a normal person. But he basically has this big metal thing on his back that deploys into 2... I think either massive gloves or just like rods. It varies from shot to shot.
I think they're gauntlets, and I think it's like shoulder replacements.
I mean, yeah, because like they're like are mounted. They collect on his back and they come up over his shoulders onto the rest of his arms. Maybe they were. I don't know.
Funny enough, there's an anime that has that as a plot.
Of course it does.
It's called Megaloblocks.
That's great. We're gonna continue.
Great show. Great soundtrack.
So these guys are robbing the bank. Also, the music in this episode is very, very weird. It kind of reminded me of A Bullet for Bullock. Which that was the kind of noir-esque episode where someone's out to kill Bullock and we eventually realize it's his landlord because he hates him so much.
Yes.
But remember both of us not liking the music in that, but that was actually an episode that was nominated for a Daytime Emmy for its music score, weirdly enough. I felt like this was weirdly like that at times. And there are even points when I felt like it got borderline 1960s campy level.
Okay.
It just felt a little bit anachronistic. I don't know.
I didn't pay enough attention to this score. I liked the score of the second episode a lot.
There's some good stuff in there. But yeah, this one's kind of weird. Also, there's a doctor who his wife is being held by these guys, and that's why he's building these things. Because he specializes in really high-tech servos. I guess he built the servos that Bruce used inside the bat suit.
Yes.
Which I think is interesting because either his technology has gotten worse or Bruce
plateaued.
did a shitload of work, because like the servos we see get left behind out of one of these robbers is massive. Mm-hmm. And the ones in the bat suit would be minuscule, super, super tiny. I guess it's Bruce probably taking the technology and running with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's also one of those where like, I usually let it go, but it's one of those where like, Bruce had to ask for this. Like he had to go to this doctor and be like, my body's fine, but I need your technology.
I mean, I guess he could have just acquired it through Wayne Tech.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But no, but this is one where he doesn't, because usually he says that. Of like, oh, this is a former Wayne Tech person. And this is the first time he didn't say that.
There's a difference, though, between being part of Wayne Tech and having your technology bought by Wayne Tech.
Okay, yes.
Like, he could have bought samples of it through Wayne Tech and never did anything with it. I don't know. Who knows how he hides his paper trails? Alfred used to do all that work for him.
Exactly.
But I did love that the doctor was voiced by good old Ed Begley Jr.
It's a name that you've said before.
He does a lot of voiceover stuff. Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
I did not.
Did you ever see The Page Master?
I did not.
Wait. And once again, wait. You've never seen The Page Master?
I don't think so.
Mr. I love everything that has to do with live action animation crossover. And you never saw The Page Master.
There's a lot of live action animation movies I haven't seen yet.
Macaulay Culkin. He's a kid. He's afraid of things. He goes to return his books. Christopher Lloyd gives him like a magic book thing that draws him inside the books. He goes inside Treasure Island and to Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm going to watch this tonight.
How have you not seen this? This is all of your wheelhouses in one film.
Patrick Stewart's in it.
Yes.
Whoopi Goldberg's in it.
Yes.
Leonard Nimoy's in it.
Yes.
Wow.
For fuck's sake. Cameron.
Am I bad?
I'm mildly tempted to make you just stop and go watch it right now.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Okay,
this
good.
is exciting. I'm excited to have a movie.
Okay, good.
Oh, Phil Hartman's in it.
Oh, that's right. Wait, who does he voice? Is he the voice of...
I was going through. Tom Morgan. Jim Cummings is in it. Of course he is. B.J. Ward. Why is that a name that I recognize? It's not important.
It's a great film. It's a great film. But Ed Begley Jr. plays the dad in that.
Okay.
Look him up. You'll see him in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Love that he's in there. He does a really good job with that sort of... He always sounds intellectual, but he also can sound really mopey, too. Like mopey and kind of sad. Excuse me. So we eventually start to learn that the doctor is doing this because they've kidnapped his wife. And his wife was his new nurse. After like 2 weeks, he decides he's going to propose to her.
Yeah. Typical story. Typical rich man story.
Her name is April. And I guess because once they took a photo of her in front of the moon, they always reference the song April Moon.
Well, he said that was their song.
Yeah, but like, really?
I mean, couples have songs.
Yeah, I know. But it's a little forced.
Yes,
I'm assuming one of the writers listened to that song and was like, hey, this is a great idea for a title. I don't know.
I kept wanting to call it April Showers because of Bambi.
That's also just a phrase. April showers bring May flowers.
Yes, but it's also a song from Bambi. Right?
I've never seen Bambi. I don't know.
Wow. Hold on. And one more hold on. You haven't seen the Disney classic Bambi?
I think there's a lot of people...
It's only 60 minutes, Chris.
I think there's a lot of people that never saw Bambi because they just knew that it was super sad in the beginning because the mom dies.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any happier. Like, people...
No, it's a depressing fucking film.
Yeah.
Also, okay, another question for you, because I was just at Disneyland. And we went on the Pinocchio ride. Pinocchio's Daring Journey.
Yes.
Took us 3 times to ride it because the thing kept breaking down.
Great
The thing
ride.
is old as fuck.
Yeah.
Now,
It's one of the originals.
Now, I haven't seen Pinocchio in a long time. I have seen it, but it's been a while.
Yes.
Is that movie as dark and depressing as horrific as that ride makes it seem?
Yes.
Okay.
The movie is 3 shorts because that's what you did back in the day.
Is it?
Yes.
But isn't Pinocchio a through line through all of it?
Yeah, it's the same main character.
Yeah.
But there's basically 3 mini story arcs that happen.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is he disobeys Geppetto and leaves. Where he meets Honest John, and he goes on one adventure where he like goes to school or tries to go to school.
Is that when he becomes a donkey?
No, that's the second part.
Okay.
So then that fails, so he goes back to Honest John, and then he's like, "Hey, come to this party thing," and that's when he goes to the island of Lost Boys. I know. Yeah, I saw that smirk.
Sorry. No, we're not going to get into it, but I just read the Atlantic article about Bryan Singer.
Oh, yeah.
And everything you're describing sounds very similar to that. And okay.
So that's where all the miscreants and the hooligans are, and that's where they all get drunk and they're smoking.
That's when they turn into donkeys?
That's when they turn into donkeys.
Okay.
Yes.
Because at one point in the ride, there's just a whole bunch of children who have been transformed into donkeys, like crying in cages.
Yes.
What is this?
Yes. So that happens.
What is this horror?
And then Pinocchio escapes the island on a raft, which is eaten by Monstro.
Yes, the whale.
Yes.
The whale.
And you find out that Geppetto had already been eaten by the whale.
Geppetto's also inside the whale?
I'm pretty sure.
Did Geppetto go looking for him and that's how he got eaten?
Yes, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so they start a fire in his mouth, which makes him blow through his blowhole.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all happy, and they make it back to Geppetto's house.
He lives well for a puppeteer, it seems like, a puppet maker.
And that's when the Blue Fairy is there and grants Jiminy whatever wish he wished for and makes Pinocchio a real boy.
So, because I knew that it ended with him becoming a real boy. That's the whole point of Pinocchio.
Yes, the point of Pinocchio is to like, and then the whole nose growing thing.
Yeah, you lie and your nose grows.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember him always becoming a real boy. So I'm on the ride, and it gets the end, and the last time we see Pinocchio, he's still a puppet.
Yeah.
And I was so confused. Like other rides
They didn't want to spoil the ending.
Like other rides will cut out the dark part of the story. Like you go to the Little Mermaid ride, and there's absolutely no reference to the climax, which, to what I recall, is Prince Eric literally steering the mast of a ship through Ursula. They just skip over that part because it's kind of horrifically graphic.
Well, it's actually in the background. Oh, Stromboli. That's the big. Okay. Sorry. So the first part of Pinocchio is he's, because that's when he's in the cage in the beginning.
Yeah.
Is he's hired by Stromboli to be part of his like circus.
Okay.
And then he escapes from Stromboli, and Honest John and Gideon the cat take him to Pleasure Island. That's the island of Lost Boys.
Even worse.
Oh yeah,
Even
where he
worse.
meets Lampwick, who is the hooligan he befriends and plays pool with.
Okay.
And then the rest makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I thought it was very strange they cut out the part where like it has a happy ending.
Yeah.
It's a little fucking puppet at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Have you been on the Snow White ride? The Snow White Darks?
Yeah, but then they show like they reference the dwarves knocking the rock onto the.
Yeah.
Though they don't show it, but they make reference to it happening.
Yeah, I think you see them pushing it, but it doesn't like
that's
fall.
right. All those old rides in Fantasyland are pretty fucking dark, except for Peter Pan. Peter Pan's pretty light and upbeat.
Yeah.
Except, well, there's a lot of problems with Peter Pan though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's not get into that. But the rest of those rides are really I love them. Like I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but it literally ends with you in hell.
Yes, and I love it.
Don't realize that as a kid, as your adult, you're like, yeah, this fits.
Yeah.
This works.
Oh, yeah, I do. It is nice and cozy here.
Yeah. Already? I thought I had a few more years. What were we talking? Oh, April Moon?
Little April showers.
That's right. That's where we got. That's where that tangent worked.
So we Batman is talking to the doctor, and we find out that he has programmed vocal failsafes.
Yes.
Into all of the armor.
It's a password.
Yes.
So they'll take him out.
Little April showers.
Yes.
In that high pitched voice.
April showers bring my flowers.
Yes. And so the goons show up to where the doctor is. A little tuffle with Batman.
A tuffle?
Yeah, that's the word, right?
You mean a tussle?
Tussle? That's the one. No,
is that a combination of tussle and ruffle?
I was going to say truffle.
Truffle, okay.
They tussle over a truffle.
Yes, absolutely. And they're wearing ruffled shirts.
Yes.
While eating bags of ruffles.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. A kerfuffle?
That's what I was going for. That's what I meant to go get. A kerfuffle. Batman runs away, but he does not because he follows the goons who are also being followed by the Doctor. This is just a bad episode.
So bad.
And then we find out that the nurse slash fiance slash wife.
Wife. It is wife. They got married.
Is actually in on the con.
And she's the girlfriend of Bullwhip.
Yes. And so then a fight ensues, and Batman so seductively whispers Blue Moon into April Moon into all of the crevices where the armor is. I don't know why.
Wait, what? Why are you rephrasing this as he whispers it into the crevices? He's not whispering into crevices. Like, he whispers it at the guy with buzzsaws, and then he falls apart.
Yell it?
I mean,
to knock out all of them at once. Like, it was so unsettling to see him just go, April Moon. And I'm like, just say it. Why does it have to be quiet?
Also, I feel like he uses the same tone of voice for all three. It almost feels like they somehow lost every other recording of him saying April Moon. They had one of Will just like casually warming up and saying the phrase, just rolling around his mouth. He used to say the words. Like, that's all we got. We're gonna go with it.
He always said Blue Moon by accident, and no one corrected him.
Sorry, guys. I get it. It's not Blue Moon.
Yeah,
it's April Moon. I'll get it one of these days. They got one good take out of him.
Yes.
But yeah, he whispers it to all of them, and all their shit shuts down.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't just shut down. It like falls off of them.
Yeah, like it's a full on. It doesn't just stop. It like they actually break apart.
Yeah,
it's like a catastrophic failure, like a full on mechanical failure. And then Bullwhip and April get away, as does the Doctor, and it ends on a really kind of horrible note.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were setting up the Doctor to be like a, I think this is going to be his origin.
Oh no, I don't think they had any plans for him to come back. I think that was just like the punctuation mark in his story.
Okay, I could see it as both.
Because what ends up happening is Terry's kind of upset. He's like, I didn't go after the Doctor, but my heart wasn't in it because the Doctor had learned that his wife had set him up, but she didn't realize it. Neither she nor Bullwhip realized it.
Yeah, and
so Bruce is like, oh well, maybe he will come back at some point to kind of do something about it. And the last thing we see is Bullwhip in getting in for surgery, and the Doctor is like, don't worry, I'll take good care of you, and like holding down a power drill.
Yeah, zooms into the camera.
So this whole episode is about a guy who becomes a murderer.
Yes.
And Bruce and Terry basically sanction it.
Yeah.
So
they understand heartbreak.
My question is, who's the villain in all of this? Are we supposed to sympathize?
Society, Chris. Society is the villain.
I mean, yes, this is true, especially in Gotham. But like, who are we supposed to sympathize with anyone in this? Are you supposed to feel bad for the Doctor? Like, my issue is that they just took the wife and made her the most shallow, manipulative femme fatale character with no depth whatsoever.
She doesn't get a name, does she? Oh, it's April. Yes,
April, yes.
Like,
she's the titular character, in fact.
Oh, excuse me.
But they don't give her. Like, she doesn't have any other motivation other than just fucking over this Doctor.
Exactly.
Like all she's doing is ruining some guy's life because she's in love with this other guy, and that is just like this horrible trope that you see happen all the time.
Yeah.
And I get that this was written in like 2001, as we'll see in the next episode. There are plenty of points to make that reference, but it actually really bothered me that that's where they went, because the Doctor is now, by the end of it, he's not sympathetic because it turns him into a murderer, and he decides he's going to like kill the people that wronged him, which means that not only is he going to kill the Bullwhip, but he's probably going to go and kill his wife.
Yeah.
Too. So they have taken this character.
He's the reverse Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, basically. Like, they've taken the character of the wife and made her completely shallow without any depth, and then they've also basically set her up to be the victim of domestic violence. And at the same time, the writers are sort of kind of justifying that fact.
I wouldn't say justifying, but more of just.
But like we have spent the episode learning why this guy is probably going to go kill his wife. So like that's not a point of sympathy necessarily, but like we get, if you will, his motivation. Mm-hmm. We get no sort of motivation from her whatsoever.
No, she's just a bad person.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just bad, Chris.
But it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's really problematic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just really upset me.
Life's not fair, Chris.
It's like really, really upset me.
I think I've brought this up on the podcast before, but I'm bringing it up again because I love talking about it. This reminds me a lot of the villains from the Crimson Chin comic and Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, okay. Like the bronze kneecap.
Yes,
and
I do remember them. See if you can remember, because it's all of the puns.
Like the iron lung.
Yep, iron
lung. The bronze kneecap. I feel like there's something elbow. The knuckles, fist.
No, brass knuckles.
Oh, damn it! It's right there.
Yeah, no, they're all right there. It's if I remember correctly, it's I don't remember there being an elbow. It's the iron lung, the brass knuckles, the bronze kneecap, the titanium toenail. And then there's what's the last one? The copper cranium. That's the one.
Oh man, these are so.
Oh, the gilded arches. I forgot that one.
Oh yeah, the titanium. These are so fantastic. Mm-hmm. Oh,
and I fucking love these villains because they're known as the body of evil, which is so fucking good. Like,
yes.
I give Butch Hartman so much props for this fucking character.
I mean, that show
Cincinnati. I forgot that was the fucking name of the city.
And also the fact that it's all voiced by Jay Leno just makes it that much better.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of them, where it's just like the generic people with weird powers.
Yeah.
Because like buzzsaws for knees is very specific.
It is.
That's a very unique.
It seems like it would just be more problematic than anything else.
I feel like it totally would.
Yeah.
Because that's a painful surgery. Like everyone else just seems like it was like an add-on. Like you can get the whip just added on top of your wrist.
Yeah.
You can get the Juggernaut character. The armor kind of came over him.
Yeah.
Even the fisticuffs guy. It came from basically like the Blue Beetle thing on his back.
On his back.
But the knees, like, he had a full knee replacement for that.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't walk when they broke.
He didn't have appendages. He was quadriplegic. He didn't have legs below, or from starting above the knee.
Yeah.
And then he probably didn't have arms from, I would say, at least the elbows down. Mm-hmm. Also, so all those other characters have names, they're just not in the show. His name was Knee Jerk.
Of course it was.
Yes.
Was that his real name or his villain name?
They don't give him. I don't know if he has a normal villain name. One of them, the other one's is voiced by Ethan Embry, and the other one was voiced by Johnny Galecki, which is so crazy. See weird things. I don't know. This episode really upset me. I did not like it. It was just terrible.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a lot of
horrible character work. Really, really dated characterization. Very unpleasant.
Yes.
Very unpleasant episode. Weird music.
But the next episode.
I mean, I can see.
I had so much fun with this episode.
It's fun. I think it's so. So dumb.
This is Ready Player One.
It is. It's based on the plot of Ready Player One.
Yeah.
More or less, because it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
That's all it is.
And
is Star Wars.
Starfighter.
Yeah. And it's Star Wars right from the beginning. My first note is, so it's Star Wars.
Mine was, it's the last. I was more excited. I said last Starfighter !
Yeah, like we knew that was gonna be the case right from the title, Sentries of the Lost Cosmos.
Yes,
it's right there. And yeah, the opening scene is them clearly playing a VR video game. So it's Terry and Max and this other guy Corey, and they kind of look like future samurai with flame swords. And they're being chased by things that look vaguely-ish like TIE fighters.
What I appreciated is the whatever they were flying on is reminiscent of the New Gods.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of New God stuff in there, which kind of makes sense.
I really appreciated that because I forgot that we'd seen them already in Superman. So it makes sense that they've already kind of had that concept art ready.
Yeah, but it's kind of it. It is every VR game you always see, which is if you stop and think logically about how that would actually work as a game, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like, because he just turns around and flies back, Corey, because he's like the best, what's the game called? Sentries, the Lost Cosmos player ever. He just flips back around, dodges the lasers, and cuts the fighter in half with his sword. And you're like, that's probably not how that game would work. I don't think they would have designed it.
Hey. You can't go into the writings of VR games like that.
That's my whole point. VR games are very limited in what you can actually do.
But this is the future, Chris. Can you tell by their outdated Star Wars reference?
God damn it.
It's not just there's a Star Wars reference. There's a straight up Jar Jar joke in this episode.
I know.
And I fucking love it.
I know. Now, I will say this did surprise me. Because when we meet Corey, I'm like, oh, he's going to be the bad guy. Because we've basically seen this character before. He's the kid who's overly obsessed with the video game. Mm-hmm. This happened in the first VR episode, the Spellbinder one. Mm-hmm. And he even kind of looks like him a little bit. It's like the sunken face, and he just looks dodgy.
Yes.
And I assumed he was going to become the villain, so I was, I guess, technically
No, I mean, I think
surprised.
the lawsuit had ended at this point in court that video game violence causes real violence.
People still believe that.
Oh, I know, but there was a whole lawsuit.
I know, I remember.
Who makes Mortal Kombat? Not Konami.
I don't know.
Whoever makes Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I mean, their response to it, because that's, I think, the biggest like middle finger you can possibly give them. So you had fatalities in the first game, and I think Mortal Kombat 3, they included the friendship ending.
Oh, that's right.
If you did the reverse order.
Friendship ending was so much fun.
Yeah, if you did the reverse of the fatality, you got...
Oh, yeah, because that had like multiple fatalities, had brutalities, had animalities.
Baby-talities.
Baby-talities.
Yeah, and
friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship was always pretty fun.
Yeah.
Also, let's be honest. It's not necessarily video games because, I mean, video games, you're just killing people left and right. But I'd say video games more often explore the consequences of violence. Like the actual blood is there. Frankly, part of the problem is movies. Mm-hmm. Because for whatever reason, like God forbid we have any sort of violence in anything in PG-13, so we're just going to pretend there's no blood whenever you get fucking shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
And also it's the superhuman effect in film of you can see someone fall 5 stories and get up.
Yeah, I mean, that happens in this show a lot, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's animation, though. That's why I think there's such a problem with converting Batman from animation to live action, especially if you want to do it as close to animation as possible, is if you saw these fight scenes in real movies, they are violent. Like, they are bloody.
Yeah, I mean, look at Phantasm.
Yeah. And I think that's where, like, a lot of people are upset with Titans. I mean, I was upset with Titans for being that graphic, but when you look back on it, like, those are moves that we see Dick Grayson doing.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem was it wasn't necessarily that it was graphic, is that it was gratuitous.
Yes.
And on top of that, it was
the cinematography focused on the wrong parts.
Yeah, it was glorifying it a lot of the time too, or like it was kind of glorifying, while also kind of pointing out that it's really terrible. But it just never actually went down the path of going like, this is problematic. It was just like, oh, let's just say it's problematic, but not actually deal with the problems of it.
Yes.
Terrible fucking show. So bad.
So Corey gets a email from a guy named Simon something. I forgot to write his last name down.
I was going to say Simon Trent. That is not.
Who is the creator of the game Centuries of the Last Cosmos.
Simon Harper.
Thank you. Of course it's Harper.
Why is it course at Harper?
If you were caught up with Young Justice, you would know.
I am trying. Do you know how busy I am?
Yeah.
Fucking moving.
Oh man, it must be so hard spending 2 days at Disney. Oh, what a pain.
It was 2 full days. You know what? Off air, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you even more mad at me. So.
Did you go to Club 33?
Yes.
Fuck you. I'm fucking done with this podcast. Piece of shit.
You know, and Cameron,
I don't care. I don't give a fuck about what you have to say right now.
Cameron, having been...
Chris, I don't give a fuck what you have. Like, this isn't me playing a joke. This isn't a character anymore. This is Cameron just mad at you for not fucking telling me you're going to Club 33 again.
Well, I
don't care. I don't care.
I couldn't
Chris,
bring you.
Chris, I don't care. Chris, I don't care.
You know what I will...
Chris,
say...
I'm not going to say it again. I don't fucking care what you have to say to me right now. They go to Sentry Loft, which is the same fucking thing as Skywalker Ranch. What a great reference. The head of the company is basically like, oh yeah, this game, I am the head of the game. do what I say because it's real. Fuck you. God, I can't fucking believe you.
What I was going to say, though, is having now been 3 times...
Fuck off, Chris. I don't fucking care.
I think the magic...
I'm tired of this shit.
I think the magic is kind of worn off a little bit.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Chris. In your fucking pretentious bullshit. God, don't you dare fucking open your mouth right now.
Honestly,
don't fucking talk to me right now, Chris.
I really just prefer
Chris, I'm gonna fucking
Carthay Circle at this point. Oh god, he's throwing plastic gourds at me.
Yes. Oh,
where'd it go? Step up.
I don't give a fuck. So he the head of the Simon Simon Harper. Corey's there, and there's 2 other players that are supposed to be the 3 best players in Gotham. I have a big problem with this because if you're the best player, you know everything about that fucking game.
Yeah.
And when they walk in, they're like, "Oh, I think this is from this." I'm like, "Oh no! If you're a good 2000s nerd and you don't know every goddamn fact about that about what you're playing, you're a goddamn poser."
Well, they had to prove that Corey was the best of all of them.
Yes.
Because apparently he knew that it was a very obscure thing, even though clearly it wasn't. Mm-hmm. What I also love in that moment is, I guess, no, it's not there. But later on, Batman breaks into that same room with all the stuff in there. And Simon has set up the world's most destructive little security robots.
Yes.
And in the process of Batman being there, destroys everything in the room.
Yeah, you gotta go to the evidence.
But that's not evidence.
I know.
That's just his stuff that he's obsessed with. Mm-hmm. Like, that all probably would have been crazy expensive to build. And he just...
Well, he's about to get all that money back.
That's true.
But what upset me even more is when they're doing the fight in Patton Oswalt's office or apartment.
Oh, yeah.
And they're blowing up his shit. Because that's when I'm like, what are you doing?
He's shooting his own shit.
Yes.
And at one point he does
that made me more upset.
He's like, oh no, my research. I'm like, dude, you were just shooting at this thing on your own.
You just shot down your own Godzilla or makeshift Godzilla.
Oh yeah, it looked more like Reptar actually.
Yeah. Fuck you. God,
what?
Fuck you. I'm so fucking mad at you. Yeah.
Also, I love that when we meet Simon, he's dressed as a Jedi, but also he's an Australian Jedi.
Yes.
I'm not sure why.
I mean, we have a single British Jedi.
Obi-Wan?
So I guess 2 now, yeah. Obi-Wan and now Rey.
Oh, yeah, she's British. But she's not a Jedi, is she?
I mean, in training.
I don't think she's going to be a Jedi. I think the whole point is like the Jedi are
That's
gone.
true, the last
like,
Jedi,
yeah, she's like this weird gray space. Mm-hmm. But I was excited because I recognized that voice. Meanwhile, I finally looked him up, and the voice of Simon Harper is the voice of Jake, who is the Australian mouse in The Rescuers Down Under.
That's right, which I did not know when you said that.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
It is. It's great. I mean, it's the forgotten Renaissance film.
Yeah, because I mean, you've talked about this before that it was such a flop that Disney didn't make another theatrical animated sequel until Wreck-It Ralph. Mm-hmm. But like, honestly, I
don't think it was that big of a flop.
But I mean, I thought it was. That was like a huge flop. That's why they never did it again. So they only did directed.
Well, I think
video
directed.
sequels.
I think they were just so much cheaper to make.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
because when it wasn't theatrical, they could use their B team.
That's true. But I mean, it's a shame though, because that movie, I prefer it to the original Rescuers.
Yeah, the original Rescuers made 170 million. Rescuers Down Under made 48.
Like, it's not good.
Yeah,
that's not. Yeah, that's a pretty big drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a big time gap between those, right? I mean, the first Rescuers.
Yeah,
was
I mean, both films are
70s, early
18
80s.
years apart.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would you wait that long?
Yeah,
I mean, it's still so good though.
Wait, no, that's not right. The first Rescuers was 1978, so 12 years.
Okay, but still, it's a long
time. And
then
Wreck-It Ralph was 9, 8. First Wreck-It Ralph was 2011, so that would be
7 years.
7 years, yeah.
Yeah. But also, Rescuers Down Under has George C. Scott as McLeach.
That's right.
Who's a fantastic villain. So fantastic. I much rather wish I had watched The Rescuers Down Under than this episode of Batman. But so Simon tricks all the players into going and basically being his minions, doing his dirty work. So the first thing he does is have them go and fuck up the Hall of Records. Mm-hmm. Right, that alone should be an obvious sign there's a problem.
I couldn't figure out what the plot, or what was the villainous act. I mean, what the villainous act was, like what the purpose of it all was.
I mean, I guess he was just trying to destroy any.
Well, I know now, but while watching it, I'm like, they all felt very separate from each other.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like part of the mystery of it all. But the bigger problem in this episode is the entire Gotham Hall of Records gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of real important shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
All gone.
Here's my theory, Chris. I think Bruce had been waiting for this moment, for someone else to attack the Hall of Records, because he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in there enough where he's kind of like iffy. Or,
there's enough of like a loose trail.
Yes.
To get back to him.
So I think he's had like dynamite set up in there for years. Just waiting.
It goes up.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Gotham, where like
every building is made of explosives,
a fucking pillow factory could blow up.
Yes,
this place goes up real fast.
I feel like because they just wanted to blow up that one little bit,
that one file, but they take out a whole bunch of it, and I guess a gas line breaks. And that's part of the reason it goes up.
That's what Bruce says.
That's what Bruce says. But
I do think Bruce is behind, because Alfred usually does the dirty work.
That's true.
He's the one that blows up. He's the one that hires the villains and everything.
And doing all the cleanup work.
Yeah, gets them out of Arkham. So Bruce has something to do.
I think this episode actually has the most significant consequences for the city of Gotham of any Batman Beyond episode.
Yeah,
because like every other thing that happens, like the villainous plot is thwarted. Arguably, the consequences of the plot, like the tangential damage, the collateral damage, is more problematic than the original plot itself.
Yes.
Because otherwise, it was just me one guy dying versus the entire Gotham Hall of Records getting destroyed. Mm-hmm. Like everything is in that building.
Well, you know what I think this is what I think this episode is. This is a PSA. Since the early 2000s, this is a PSA to back up all your shit.
That's true.
On a hard drive.
Back up those hard drives. Yeah. Store them in crazy places.
Command S everywhere, or Control S everyone. Save that shit.
Save that shit.
Mm-hmm. We would have when I was still in art school. You would usually have someone yell out like every hour or so, just be like, "Hey, everyone, save your shit." Just like, because I mean,
you forget if you're there long
especially
enough.
if you're on like an older computer
don't know.
in Photoshop or Illustrator or After Effects or anything. Yeah. If that shit crashes, you're done.
Yeah.
Like I had friends lose whole hard drives, and like lose an entire day of work and weeks of work because they don't like no one saves.
Yeah.
And it's always just like
it's a problem.
It's so heartbreaking when you just like hear the cries from the corner. It's like, what's going on? And they're like, spinning wheel of death. And you're like, no.
Oh no.
It's 2 a.m. The project's due at 8 in the morning.
So that's the real message of this episode, guys.
Yes,
save your stuff.
Yeah,
also,
back up everything.
Also, don't let video games control your life.
Yes,
because that's basically what. Like the little closing line of this episode is basically about that.
Well, I wanted the joke to be like, because Bruce does say like people take video games too seriously or something like that.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to just like turn around and turn the TV on. And
yeah, it's like, all right, but hey.
Yeah, just find a show. And it's like, this is amazing. I think that would have been too meta.
I think it would have been
us talking about it.
A bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second act that the new Sentries have to do is they're hired to kidnap / kill this guy named Eldon Michaels, voiced by a young Patton Oswalt, which is amazing.
Perfect casting.
Who is visually based off of the famous '90s blogger, now besmirched name Harry Knowles.
We would call him. He'd be classified as what, an alleged sexual predator, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Harry Knowles most famous
Into the bin.
For
Into the bin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most famous for his cameo in Fanboys.
Oh,
great fucking movie.
That is a great movie.
Great fucking movie. And he had his own film festival.
Oh, that's right.
Called the Butt-Numb-a-thon, which I think I've talked about on the podcast.
You mentioned before because you really wanted to go.
I wanted to go, and
now you can't.
Yeah. But yes, visually he's based very clearly off of Harry Knowles. The Sentries show up and they kind of just destroy his apartment, kidnap Patton Oswalt, bring him to the Emperor, or bring him to Simon, who now has the powers of the Emperor.
Yeah, he just got like electric gauntlets or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just put the hood up on his Australian Jedi robe.
Yes.
It's like, take that, mate.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's very clearly I'm honestly surprised there wasn't a giant pit for him to be thrown down, right? Or for something to fall down.
I think maybe that's my problem with this episode is that we see a lot of Star Wars references all throughout the DCAU. We see it happen time and time again, but usually it's a little bit more subtle. It's like a little reference. But this whole thing is just a giant ripoff on it. And done in the most clunky ways. Like, to your point, they even have a joke about Jar Jar. So they're acknowledging that Star Wars exists.
It's not that it's a joke about Star Wars. They literally say Jar Jar in the episode.
Well, and it's also done in a very condescending way because Max and Terry suspect that Corey is involved in the break-in at Hall of Records. And so Terry wants to get more information about Corey's trip to go see Simon Harper at his house. And he's like, oh, come on, man. That must have been super cool. It's like, oh, are you even a fan? Like, oh, come on, man. Of course I'm a fan. I mean, that's like saying, is Jar Jar lame?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I squealed.
It's so ham-fisted. I was also surprised that, like, Corey's riding around a pretty sweet motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
where'd that come from?
Oh,
like,
awesome.
What? I was like, I thought he'd just be like this nerd type. I guess nerds can be cool. Nah, it's not true.
No, not back then.
It's also not in this world. Nerds can't be cool because we get to, what's his name? Eldon's house, Eldon's like loft in this weird abandoned warehouse, and it's just covered in bookshelves littered in books, and he's got like that Godzilla thing there, and he's got a little robot that looks like B9 from Lost in Space,
or Alpha from Power Rangers,
or it looks like B9 from Lost in Space, and it makes a Star Trek sound when he picks it up.
Yeah. Or the it's the Young Justice episode. It's when they fight the champion of the universe. I don't know if I think it's season 2.
Okay, I'm only just starting out in season 2.
Yes.
So I've seen it all once before, but I've forgotten most of it. I forgot a lot of that show, actually. It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Season 3, I mean, we're going to talk about it soon.
Yeah.
But season 3 just hit its mid-season finale.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking pumped for it.
Yeah? At least this time it's coming back.
Yes. Oh, thank God.
Woo.
Yeah,
I'm trying to rapidly catch up as much as I can.
We're not going to talk too much about it yet because you clearly haven't caught up. And I didn't mean to come off as condescending as it did.
How dare you? Fuck you, Cameron.
Don't even fucking dare. Don't even try to compare to the rage I'm feeling right now. Yeah, for people who haven't seen season 3, and if you're like, you should never be on the fence with the show because the show is
it's excellent.
It's still amazing.
It's excellent.
They definitely tried to adult it a little bit more in this season, but not nearly as much as like Titans or anything.
Yeah,
it's still amazing. And this season feels so much more like JLU, where it's just there's so many people now. It's another time jump. It's 2 more years in the future.
Don't tell me anything.
Okay, sorry.
I don't want to hear anything.
There's so many people. That's all I'm gonna say.
It looks like there's a lot of people. I've seen stills that have been coming out for the last few weeks, and I'm trying to get there as fast as I can because that show is so good.
God, and like one of my favorite underrated characters is in it, and I was fucking pumped to see him.
Cannot wait.
Or it. So maybe not be a person.
Cannot wait. But yeah. Yeah, but then this episode though goes full on him emperoring Terry. I legitimately thought it was going to be like a full recreation of that scene of like all of like Corey looking at the Emperor, looking at Batman, looking at the Emperor, looking at Batman, and then going over and taking out Simon. It didn't go quite that far, but it got pretty close. I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was kind of dumb. Love Patton Oswalt's performance though. Love that.
I mean, of course, because it's fucking Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, but so the end of it though, they're talking about how these nerds now need something new to obsess over. It's they show up at Eldon's house. Yeah, Eldon's house. And they have the script, because that's the whole thing, is that he actually wrote the game, and Simon was basically going to cheat him out of any sort of appropriate dues. It's actually very similar to the if you're so smart.
Yeah.
Why aren't you rich? Yeah. But it's like these guys now need something new to obsess over. And so they go to him. And I think that was also part of my problem, is maybe the twofer of these 2 episodes, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It seems like it's being really mean to sad people who share, like people who have kind of like sad aspects of their life, and those aspects are often shared by people who have this sort of obsessive fandom for something like a Batman animated show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's just like
I can't even fathom what they're dealing with.
It feels like they're trying to kick their own fans.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm just not cool with that.
I think it's more of like, because I think this is like a mini punch, like the convention people.
Yeah.
Of like, because it is the people who come up and they are the like, well, at minute 42 of episode 16, you have so and so in the background of the shot, but they're not introduced until this episode at this point. Like, can you explain what they're doing in between that time?
Yeah.
Like, they're definitely, like, have you met those fans before?
A little bit here and there.
I met one.
They're difficult.
They're insane.
They are, but...
And it's so funny.
But I think there's different ways of addressing that, though. You look at something like Galaxy Quest, which has that sort of crazy obsessed fan with Justin Long's character.
Yeah.
But he ends up becoming a hero in one of the shows. I mean, yes, he's vindicated for believing that a science fiction show is real, which is not the best thing. But he's an actual real character with his own story going on there. And he
Well, they also have an hour and a half to tell that compared to 20 minutes.
I know, but you see that there, or even Fanboys. Again, it's a movie, but it actually treats the characters with, like, real sympathy. And I think anytime the DCU in general has tried to make a commentary on their own fans, it's mostly been mean-spirited.
Yes.
I mean, even the Simon Trent episode, the Grey Ghost episode, the villain there is like the obsessive toy collector.
It is Bruce Timm.
It's Bruce Timm. And so, I mean, they're kind of poking fun at Bruce Timm, but really they're still poking fun at their own fans.
I think the difference is with Galaxy Quest and Fanboys is it was written by a fan. Like, that wasn't like George Lucas didn't write Fanboys. If he did, I think it'd be incredibly different.
It would be very
and like
very masturbatory.
Yeah, and like Bradbury didn't write Galaxy Quest, but if he did,
wait, sorry,
no,
Roddenberry.
Sorry,
I think you're thinking of Ray Bradbury.
I am.
Who wrote Fahrenheit 9/11?
Yes, because
Fahrenheit
it's also
451. Fahrenheit 9/11 is Michael Moore.
Exactly. Come on, Chris. We're almost through. Come on.
So try.
Yeah. So I think, I think the biggest difference is like these are fans writing those, whereas this is the creators writing.
But at the same time, you know, these creators, they're fans of this stuff too. I mean, they love Star Wars. That's why they did an whole episode on it. That's why they're constantly throwing in references there. They love Batman. Like, I guess that's part of my problem is that you feel like a lot of these guys might be kind of those personas a little bit. Like, they probably went to, I don't know all of them to be perfectly honest, but you imagine that a lot of them maybe went to Comic-Con when it was actually like real about comics when they were younger, and they watched the Batman TV show and they've loved all this stuff and they are those kind of fans.
Yeah.
And
well, I think it is just like what side of, I mean, I understand they are nerds, but they see the other side of the industry more. Like, they see more rabid fans and they see themselves as those characters now.
I get that, but it just seems like they are being mean to the people who are keeping their shows going and love their shows.
Because I think, did you ever watch Con Man? Because that's what I compare this to.
No, I want to at some point.
Yeah, because that's Alan Tudyk. That's you.
Yeah, no.
Phone ringing.
I'm not. It actually is on Do Not Disturb. So
really, because the table is vibrating.
Just looking for anything to say at this point.
Yeah,
to put me down.
What was I? Yeah. So Con Man. If for people who don't know the show, highly recommended. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But it's Alan Tudyk,
playing basically himself.
Yes, playing himself with his cast members from Firefly.
Yeah.
Where it's basically they're on a show that only lasted a season, and one of the actors made it huge, still played by Nathan Fillion, and it's him just going through the convention circuit, dealing with the hardcore fans in the same way he dealt with the Browncoats and still continues to deal with the Browncoats.
Did you see the brilliant 10-year challenge that Nathan Fillion did?
Yes.
Yeah, where the left side was a picture of Firefly, and the right side was nothing. Think about doing this wrong?
God, Nathan Fillion. What a great man.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I think Con Man shows both sides of that, where they are fans, but he's also seen the dark side of it.
Yeah.
Where like every storyline in Con Man, he's like is based off a real event he's dealt with.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of sad, but also like, you know.
But I don't know. I feel like
we're obsessive fans, but we're normal for the most part. Comparatively.
I'm not going to make such claims.
I mean, I look around this apartment and I still feel like if I always see the spectrum of the Comic-Con goer, and whenever I feel like I'm leaning too far to the over obsessed, try and bring it back a little bit.
I have to admit, over the weekend, I at some points I basically had to explain Disney fandom to my parents. I had to explain what Disney bounding was because like, why are these people dressed up this way? And I tried to explain it to it, and I did it in a way that was like recognizing what the people are trying to do. They're trying to express their love and their sort of thing. But I did find myself like trying to not be defensive. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like I'm tiptoeing towards one of those fans, but not so far. I like to think that we have at least a little bit of self-awareness.
Yeah,
not a lot. Also, I did see a guy today who was literally wearing a like Luigi's tire hat. He's basically wearing like a donut on his head. And it's just like, dude, and he's wearing like these horrible high socks and cargo shorts. I'm just like, man, just, I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm so glad that you love what you love, but really, just look in a mirror.
Yeah.
Just look at a fucking mirror. Oh, God, I've become one of those people that's mean to fans.
Damn right you have. Maybe if someone else is there to like reel you back in, it'd be so much easier.
I am this show. Any other thoughts on?
I think. Oh, the score. I wanted to talk about that for a brief second.
The score is interesting.
It's because it feels very similar to BTOS.
It's BTOS-y. It's got a lot of Star Wars in there. A lot of Star Wars homage.
I felt it was just all of John Williams because there was a moment.
Yeah.
Oddly placed is when they're fighting the Emperor. They're playing like a remixed Superman score.
I didn't even notice that.
I noticed the 3 note or the 4 note, like that bum ba dum bum.
Okay.
And I'm like, but it was in like the Batman key.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, this is interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. The score is worth.
Yeah, I don't know if it's let me clear my search for Coheed and Cambria on Spotify. Let me see.
I doubt that
Batman Beyond. That doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Too bad. That'd be cool if they had the Batman Beyond scores on there.
Mm-hmm.
They had the BTOS scores on there.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Oh, no, I don't have to go. We don't have to go into Nintendo Sega. I was gonna do a comparison between this and then Nintendo Sega, but I don't know enough about that dispute to really dive into it as deep as I want to.
Okay, that is fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what do you have to plug this week?
Well, real quick, couple.
Notes, sorry.
Couple notes from friends. Since we have run kind of long, we'll maybe save this for another time. But after the announcement of Justice League versus the Fatal Five, you and I were talking about how excited we are because it's like probably gonna be set in the same canon. And we acknowledge that at least from my perspective, I consider Batman and Harley Quinn part of the canon. And good old Matty Washburn was basically saying like, "Hey, thanks for backing me on this," because he's kind of like this not lone voice, but he's a very emphatic that he considers it canon. I guess a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And I was gonna open up a broader conversation about whether we want to consider it canon or not, but given that we haven't seen it in a while and we've run long, maybe we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
And then I have just one other quick shout out. It's to Bryce Lee, who listens to this. He's written to us before, and he also now started listening to Gay It Forward.
Oh, nice.
So, thanks, Bryce.
Way to plug your own shit, Chris.
I'm just acknowledging someone who was kind enough to like write to me to say that he was listening to another podcast that I do. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be so mean to me, Cameron.
I'm fuming right now.
Well, I'm just going to delete Cloud 33 from my list of bat plugs.
Fuck you. God, I'm going to fucking strangle you with this goddamn cord.
No, that wasn't one of my bat plugs. But as I was driving down to Disneyland this weekend, because I left on Friday night, which is a terrible idea, I was listening to The Greatest Showman reimagined, mm-hmm. which is kind of an interesting idea. They basically took the songs from the movie and had it covered by a number of like fairly well-known artists.
Well, they did that with Hamilton as well.
Oh, that's right, they did.
I'm sure someone did it before, but I think Hamilton was like...
They were one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Because it's like Panic at the Disco, Pink, Kesha, Pentatonix, Zach Brown Band, Sarah Bareilles,
probably love
Kelly Clarkson.
God, I love her so much.
Yeah, they're good. Like all the songs are good. I don't think I'm going to end up listening to them a lot because for me they're just not quite as good as the originals, and I've also listened to the originals quite a bit.
Yes, same.
But it's an interesting idea, and I thought it was really well done. And I'm just happy anytime I see that movie getting any sort of recognition because it's good. It's really good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, the music's great.
I rewatched the movie this past week actually.
Yeah.
It's still great.
Yeah, I think in terms of original musical songs, that's one of the best soundtracks that's come out.
And
in
just
a
the
long
whole
time.
like production of the choreography and just everything around the songs is so unbelievable.
Yeah, and like it's just every time I listen to that soundtrack, I feel like there's a song I'm probably gonna want to skip, and I never skip any of them. Like they're all really catchy, really, really catchy. Now, I have one complaint, though. I have one complaint about that soundtrack, which is that
the Million Dreams Reprise.
What? That's a little unnecessary. Yeah. The Million Dreams
that's the one
Reprise. But no, it's the opening song, This Is the Greatest Show.
Yes.
It also includes...
It's everything you ever want.
It's everything you ever need. But it also includes the end of the film when it's Zac Efron taking over. And what bothers me is because they combine the two bookends of it into the opening song. When you get to the end of the soundtrack, it just ends after from this time on or from this point on or whatever. And we don't go back to...
Oh,
yeah. We don't go back to The Greatest Show, which is part of the reason the movie feels so good, is it has that like big number at the end and kind of like re-energizes things and has this like upbeat climactic moment. And that's not part of the soundtrack. It's the same reason why I really hate the only released version of the Batman Begins soundtrack, which is that it doesn't have the end credits, which is like one of the best moments of that entire movie is when he like comes out the building, he swoops down, deploys the cape, and then it cuts to like the bum, 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 like that whole theme. And it's not on the soundtrack, and it really pisses me off because I'm always waiting for that beat.
Oh man, what does it feel like to be let down by one that you trusted so much?
I rest my case.
Yeah.
I actually did have one other plug. Which is that it's a couple weeks old now at this point, but I just finished reading it. And the Hollywood Reporter did a really nice article about the making of Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay.
Because it had its 25th anniversary around Christmas, actually on Christmas. And there's nothing new or like, revelatory. Is that the right word? Revolutionary? Like, no, revealing.
Oh.
Like it's an adjective for it's something that would cause a revelation. Is that revelatory?
Well, sure, we'll go with that.
It's going to bother me. There's nothing new or super interesting there, but it's a nice article. It kind of goes into why the casting was so important, why it was such a big deal that they basically made the thing in 8 months, and they went from being a direct-to-video movie to a theatrical movie, and how it wasn't a box office success. And there's a nice little story in there about Mark Hamill going to see it in theaters on opening day, and there's like no one there, but a handful of fans, and they were really excited about it, and they excited to see him. And he basically was like, "Hey, like everyone, come sit up in the middle with us." He basically like invited all the fans to like surround him and his family to watch it together because Mark Hamill's just like the nicest man on the planet.
Well, I mean that's the argument of like why voice actors are, I think, the best cross of the two worlds.
Yeah,
you're only going to be known by the fans you want to talk to.
Yeah, and people recognize you and have a real specific appreciation for it. If you're a voice actor, no one's going to stop you because you're famous. They're going to stop you because they appreciate your work.
Exactly.
I feel like they're the hockey players of the entertainment world.
Sure. Did you ever watch the documentary I Know That Voice?
No.
There's a great moment in there where it's I don't remember his name right now, but it's the voice of Yakko from Animaniacs.
Rob Paulson?
Wacko then, sorry.
Okay,
it's
okay.
Yeah, because it's Wacko's Wish. Wacko, he's kind of a bigger guy, long curly hair.
I can't remember his name.
Bad on us. The story he's telling in the doc is he's standing next to a kid. I think they were at like Disney World or something. He's standing next to this kid who's wearing an Animaniac shirt, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this kid's day." And he leans down. He's like, "Oh, do you know who that is on your shirt?" He's like, "Yeah, that's Wacko." He's like, "That's my voice." And the kid didn't believe him. He's like, "Prove it." And the guy like started to panic. He's like, "I've performed in front of like voice talent and casting directors, and this is the most nervous I've ever been doing the voice." And he's like, "My voice cracked halfway through," and the kid just didn't believe me.
Didn't believe it.
And I'm like, "Oh man."
The kid probably tells stories that time that one random guy tried to pretend like he was the voice of Wacko.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice article about the movie. It's just it just talks about what a good movie it is, and it even acknowledges too that I guess years after the movie came out, Siskel and Ebert did a dedicated episode reviewing it because they ignored it when it came out in theaters, and they came back to it like, "Oh no, this is like the best Batman movie ever made. Like it's much better than at the time Batman Forever had just come out. Like it's much better than Batman Forever," which it is.
I mean,
but also hang on. At the same time, I will say I think Batman Forever does get bonus points for having at the time hottest live action Batman.
And you keep forgetting about Sok Fu.
Oh, I never forget about Sok Fu.
How could you?
I did.
It's the pinnacle of martial arts.
I did see another tangent. This is something that our friend Jonathan posted on my Facebook. And it was, when did you first know you were gay? And then it was a picture of Robin from Batman and Robin. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all my plugs.
All right.
So
I'll just throw it out there because we've already briefly talked about it. Young Justice season 3 just hit its mid-season break, so catch up on that because we're about to start Doom Patrol. Starts.
Are we gonna watch that?
2 weeks. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I'll watch it. But my plugs are: there's a movie that was on my summer list that I just completely missed back in the day, back a few months ago, called Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town.
Wait, what is that?
It was an indie film.
Was that with
Mackenzie Davis?
Okay, no.
Who I adore. She was also the main supporting actress in Tully.
Yeah, and she has a small role in The Martian. She's going to be the new Terminator in the new Terminator movie.
Is she? I fucking love her. She's great. Very quickly moving up my list of favorite actresses. She was in 'Halt and Catch Fire.
Oh, that's right.
She's in Blade Runner.
Izzy Gets the F Across Town. Oh, is that Haley Joel Osment?
Yes, he has a bit part in it. But it's just like a super quick movie about a girl who learns her ex-boyfriend just got engaged. And so she's trying to get across LA. She's trying to get from Santa Monica to Los Feliz without any money or a car.
Fucking good luck.
Yeah, exactly. To break up the engagement party. And it's a really cool story. It's one of those where like everything, like, you go in knowing nothing about any of the characters, and it just kind of unfolds itself as the movie goes along.
Oh, this was cool.
Yeah.
How was it?
It's a fun watch.
Yeah,
I recommend it. Yeah, it's very LA.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't live in LA won't understand why that's such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But guys,
yeah,
it's a big
Getting
deal.
from Santa Monica to Los Feliz is a fucking trek. That's like 18 miles.
It's also Los Feliz.
It's whatever.
Yeah, just saying.
It's like 18 miles you have to get through.
It's 10? No,
because from here to Santa Monica is 10.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, it's actually 18. It's pretty close to 18 then. Yeah. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a full day to go 18 miles. But yeah, that was a really fun, just really weird. It's on Amazon.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to stream it. And again, Mackenzie Davis is just such a bombshell of an actress.
She's
right
great.
now.
I really like her. Yeah.
And then I'll plug the Fire Docs because they're just a great watch.
I've heard good things about both.
So there are 2 concurrent Fire Fest documentaries going on right now. One done by Hulu, which I think is the superior one, and then one done by Netflix, which is produced by the production company from Fire Fest. So it's a little more skewed.
It's a more inside.
Yes. It's more inside, and it's more painting themselves as
victims.
The victims, yeah.
Of course.
Whereas the Hulu one is painting anyone who is involved is an evil person.
Yeah, fuck you, Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Wasn't he involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, Ja Rule.
Mm-hmm. And they're both. I recommend watching both because they overlap a little bit, but they both have major points of knowledge the points of interest that don't really cross over.
Okay.
And it's just so fun to like learn about a crazy shit show that happened so recently.
Yeah.
Nothing has ever been that blown out of proportion in recent time that I can think of. Yeah. The only thing that can slightly compare it to is there was a game that came out 2 years ago now called No Man's Sky. You know about this game?
Yes. It's a game that was like the game with an infinite expanding universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a infinitely expanding auto-generated universe that took like 8 or 10 years to make. It had its own GoFundMe, or it had a Kickstarter, but they hit the max amount of donations on Kickstarter, so he made his own donation page on his website. And this game had millions of dollars behind it. It was the most hyped game for years. Mm-hmm. And then it came out, and it was just everyone fucking hated it.
Of course,
yeah. I mean, that's the closest thing I can compare it to.
Yeah,
but not nearly as entertaining because people didn't spend thousands of dollars on that game.
Well, some of them maybe did.
Yeah, some people who donated did.
Yeah,
but just watch the Fire documentaries. You'll feel better about yourself.
Okay,
watching those.
I feel like it's a really easy shot in front of target for me because hell on earth for me would be having to go to a music festival. Mm-hmm. I've done Outside Lands before up in San Francisco.
I'll save you the details. No music is played at this festival.
Well, I know that. I know that. But it's like going to one sounds horrible, and I just have like, I mean, I have friends that go to these sort of things, but there's always some part of me that has like this disdain for like the Coachella person, the person you look at them like, oh, clearly you fucking love Coachella.
Yeah.
Like the
like 90% of LA people
in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the girl he has to pick up at the music festival who calls herself Earth Basket or whatever. It's kind of one of those people. I'm just like, I kind of hate you, and I feel like this whole thing was basically fucking over those kind of people.
Yes, it absolutely was. That's kind of the joke.
I'm like,
the joke about it is like if it was any other group of people. It would
be tragic.
Yes, but no one would make a joke about it. It'd be.
But this seems justified. Mm-hmm. Like some horrible person.
No. I mean, everyone was making fun of this.
Yeah, I know
because they show all the talk shows talking about it.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress had a whole set about it.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah.
They're just very fun.
All right, I do want to sit down and watch those at some point. Mm-hmm. But first, I got to get through Young Justice.
Yes, you do.
Because we got to talk about that. I just really want to watch the new stuff, and it's driving me nuts. Mm-hmm. It's like I feel like the moratorium for people kind of casually spoiling things is starting to pass, especially the early stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, and I just can't escape it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's nothing really to spoil yet.
Okay.
Because like I said before, it's very JLU based.
Okay.
Where every episode is its own story.
It makes me feel slightly better, but yeah, I'm just like, I don't want. Got to get there.
Yes.
I'm gonna do as fast as I can.
There's a new character that I love, and I don't think you're gonna like this character.
Great.
So I'm excited to talk about that.
Cannot wait. Mm-hmm. Hot button topic. Mm-hmm. We'll spark yet another one of our famous arguments.
Yes. I think that's all I got to talk about.
Well, if you want to reach out to the podcast and share your thoughts on the Air Bud franchise.
Yeah, if you want to go to Club 33, then fuck you, because Chris won't bring you.
You can find us at Jim Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. I am at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram, where you will not find any photos of me going to Club 33, because I actually wasn't planning on saying anything.
God, I fucking hate you so much.
At least, okay, hang on.
Chris, I'm not going to say it again. I don't fucking care.
All right, well.
Just finish the goddamn podcast.
Okay.
This is real rage. You have to know that. This is not staged rage.
I know, but I can't talk to you about it. We're still fucking recording.
Yes.
Cameron, where can they find you to join you in your rage?
If you want to see my art, you can find it at Cameron.Dexter. If you want to see my other Disney adventures and adventures of the sort, you can find that at CamDexter_adventures.
Am I allowed to keep talking?
Yes,
okay.
You're allowed to finish.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.